What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Boleros podcast. I'm back here again with the usual suspects. Say hello to Gab and Maui. Say hi, guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
What's up?
What's up?
Okay,
We're
so
number
we
one,
just finished.
bitch! Who
Grabe energy na
who
to.
would have thought? Who would have thought?
Ako
I did not.
hindi.
Some
Honestly.
predicted no. Some predicted
Honestly,
no.
sabi
Hindi
ko
hindi
number
hindi
3
tayo
siya.
Ako rin, 'di ba tayo lahat number 3. Si Maui lang ata yung high na number 2 or number 1 ng Ateneo eh. Some even said na hindi tayo mag-final 4. But we're here. We're number 1. Number 1.
Okay, so narinig niyo yun. So alam niyo na yung topic today. We just watched the two games that we had scheduled, the last two games of season 85. That was La Salle versus UST and Ateneo versus Adamson. Hindi pa rin natin alam kung sino ang magiging nasa final for all the four teams, but we do have the top three teams already. So as Gab mentioned, number 1 Ateneo, number 2 UP, and then number 3 is NU. So alam na natin yung first game ng Final Four, it's going to be UP versus NU. For Ateneo, they have to wait for their opponent because because La Salle won, a close game by the way, and Adamson lost, also a close game. They will have to battle it out this weekend to determine the fourth place and the team that will be facing Ateneo. So, thoughts, guys. Let's start with you, Maui. Thoughts on the games today?
Uh, let's start first dun sa first game yung La Salle
First
UST.
game, let's go.
We predicted La Salle to win, but I think I can speak for myself. I never saw them winning in a nail biting win. Unfortunately for La Salle, a couple of their players, namely Mike Phillips, Kevin Kiambao, and again Chaddy Winston did not play in the game. So La Salle was able to win. Evan Nelly played like it's gonna be his last game of the season. He scored season high 25 points with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. And I think sorry for UST. They played very well for probably 40 minutes of the game, but unfortunately, just like their whole season, ganun na naman nangyari. Nag-meltdown na naman nung fourth quarter. They even rested Nick Cabanero for stretches ng fourth quarter para mag-ready for for crunch time. But Evan Nelly really delivered the game of his life kanina and showed why everyone was hyped about him when he transferred from San Beda to La Salle. How about you guys? What are your thoughts?
Comment, quick comment lang on Evan Nele, no? San Beda lost the Final Four. They could have used him. This is the Final Four, honestly. So he makes it he lives to play another game and San Beda is out. Go ahead, Gab. What do you think about the La Salle UST game? Kasi honestly, let me tell you guys, I didn't watch this game. Nanood akong Star Wars Ando. Kasi sa akin, sure win na to sa La Salle.
Okay.
Sure win na to sa La Salle. So, pinanood ko lang yung last 2 minutes nung sinabihan niyo ako na close game. But Gab, what are your thoughts?
My thought was, sinayang nila yung career game ni Royce Mantua. Kilala niyo ba si Royce Mantua? Oh. Anyway, he had the game of his life. He was knocking down 3-pointers left and right, especially in the third quarter and in the early parts of the fourth quarter. I was thinking, man, if this turns out to be a win, they have a piece to build upon in Royce Mantua, and if Nick Cabanero stays. But I don't know, wala eh. They couldn't score in the last few minutes. They were up, I believe, 69-60. Then they only scored 3 points for the rest of the fourth quarter. I think, yeah, they were up 69-60 with 7 minutes left in the game. And then they scored just 3 points the rest of the way. I guess that's what yung sabi nga ni Maui, that's the story of the UST season. On La Salle side, just a couple of notes. I think Bright Noango played a hell of a defensive game. He didn't do much offensively. He scored 1 point. But defensively, he had 2 key blocks in the last 3 minutes. And sort of held Adama Faye to, I think, 8-9 points only.
Yeah.
So he didn't dominate as much. So without Mike Phillips, we still got that inside presence from Bright Noanco. Evanelli was amazing. Uh, I only watched a third and the fourth quarter. So I did see one or 1.5 minute of Joaquin Manuel playing. And he had 2 turnovers and 2 missed shots.
Napilitan sa laro
It
yun
was
eh.
so...
Kanina. Power
Oh,
forward siya, no?
he played as the power forward to relieve Ben Phillips, who, by the way, played a great game. I think he played a
Actually,
great game. He didn't score a lot, but he had a lot of key offensive rebounds. He was excellent defensively. And yeah, Ben Phillips played a hell of a game. Yun nga, so I just had to point out that Joaquin Manuel is not injured. They're just not playing him.
I think yun yung natural
yeah,
position din niya, no? Power forward. Sa high school, alam ko, PF yun.
Yeah, in high school,
in
power forward siya. Small forward, power forward
yes,
siya.
in high school.
Nung time niya, Ateneo High School. Actually, to add lang kay Gab, sorry,
go.
Go ahead.
Go, Maui.
Just to highlight lang din what Gab said, I think La Salle wouldn't have won that game without Ben Phillips. Evanelli filled the box score, but Ben Phillips did the dirty work. Yung rebounds niya, yung energy niya, he was diving for loose balls, and as Gab mentioned, he was very active sa defensive end. Props to both him and Noanco for really carrying the load sa front court, especially since Mike Phillips was not there. And I think they really wouldn't have won the game without their energy kanina.
Yeah, and a couple of players also stepped up. Si Makalalag hit a big shot, hit a big baseline jump shot, I think, to give La Salle the lead. And then I forgot the other guy's name. Raven Cortez played excellent big man minutes, again relieving Bright Noanco. So they got a full effort, especially in that second half. Pero kinakabahan ako until the start of the fourth quarter. Sabi ko, oh shit, they're in danger. They're down by 9 with 7 minutes to go. This is gonna be a disaster. This will be a disaster if they lose to UST. Who has 1 win in the whole season? So
turn around talaga.
So actually, if we're gonna talk about it later, but if Mike Phillips and Kevin Kiambao won't be able to make it on Sunday, I think this is a lock for Adamson. If La Salle plays that way, we're gonna talk about a second game, but Adamson played a hell of a game in that second game against Ateneo.
Okay, let's go there, Gab. Let's talk about the second game. So, it was an ugly win, but a win is a win. So, panalo La Salle, that means, and Adamson lost in the second game. That means they're tied. But, alam mo, kahit natalo yung Adamson, tama ka, diba? That was a really close game. Versus, I think, nung game nila sa first round, tambak eh. Tambak yung Adamson against Ateneo. Yeah. They even lost Duwanga in this game. But I think for this game against Ateneo, let me just remind you, shinout out natin si AP Manlapaz last podcast natin.
Played the game of his life.
Yeah, this guy is so aggressive and he showed up. And alam mo yung gustong-gusto ko kay AP Manlapaz? Like, hindi siya nagre-react ha. Like, wala siyang emotion. Kapag maka-score siya, maka-tres siya, Ay, tama yung gano'n niya kay Kwame.
Yeah.
And then he just runs down the court. What are your thoughts, guys? Maui, let's start with you.
Okay, go now.
Actually, yeah, you mentioned niya si AP Manlapas playing his game of his life. I think both ends of the floor, he was very good. He was very good matching up with the wings of Ateneo. He hit multiple 3-point shots. We were talking nung game, I remember kanina. It was weird not seeing him on the floor nung crucial moments. But it's finally I think I called him out before when we were doing the Adamson draft that AP Manlapas was a name to watch. But the big question we posted during that time was, will he ever get healthy? He's been very unhealthy for the past 2 years, two years nung ano niya. But the last two games nila, I think he showed out even before yung last game, he scored eight points in a quarter. And then this game against Ateneo, I think he scored 14 nung third quarter against Ateneo. And finally, at least outside of Jerome Lastimosa, you see a future for Adamson. Hopefully he gets healthy. We've been we've been calling out also the other Adamson players for playing very well, especially during the absence of Jerome Lastimosa. And I think Adamson was really peaking at the right time. It could have really won the game. Ateneo just had was just lucky to get those 50-50 uh, 50-50 balls during the end of the game, especially with the offensive rebound of Kwame nung last 30 seconds when he got a 3-point play. But yeah, if probably if the game was closer before they started their run, I think Adamson could have pulled that game. To be honest, kabado ako if nanalo Adamson doon and then kalaban natin and then sa Final Four. But yeah, I think UP pala yung kalaban nila pag nanalo sila. But Adamson really is speaking at the right moment, and hopefully we'll see them against La Salle. And like Gab mentioned, I think if Ben Phillips is still out with, I think, a head injury or concussion. Mike Phillips. Sorry, Mike Phillips will be still
What?
out.
Let's go back to that. Why was Kevin Kiambao out? I didn't catch that in the telecast.
Kevin Kiambao was out because of a non-COVID illness. So right now, parang yun lang yung press release kanina. Okay. But I read after the game that they're expecting at the very least Shawnee Winston to return for the game against Adamson. So
talaga? Shawnee?
Sabi online he's gonna return.
Hindi na 1 minute, ha?
Yeah, I guess for them to press release na babalik talaga siya, I don't think they're gonna play him a minute. Probably still limited, probably around 15 to 20 minutes. But that will be a big boost, especially if you watch yung La Salle games that they usually struggle when Evanelli goes out of the court and Mark Nona is struggling. But yeah, sana dogfight yung battle for fourth, and hopefully everyone's healthy. Hopefully Jerome Lastimosa is healthy, AP Manlapas is healthy, and Mike Phillips, Kevin Kiambao, and Winston is healthy. I think this season has been a treat for fans. Kakaiba yung season na to compared to other seasons. Yeah, I think Ateneo is also, just to add, Ateneo is also riding on a 6-game win streak going into the Final Four.
Four close games in a row, Mao. That's big. I think that's very big. Yeah. They've won 4 straight close games.
Yeah, I think very crucial din for Ateneo to win 4 straight games, especially since if you look at yung first round, I think 5 out of the 7 games they won at a very big margin. Only FEU win was not double figures. And then now they come up with a masterful second round of 6-1, only losing to NU, which was the hottest team during that time. So let's see if Ateneo will be able to ride the momentum going to the Final Four.
Gab?
Go ahead, Gab.
Ako, some points lang. One, like what I said before with UE, you know you're legit when your old players come to watch you. And there were a lot of Adamson, you former players who watched the game. I don't know who you call. Roddy Brondial, Sean Manganti was there. Ryan Monteclaro. Johnson Rios. Yeah, so you know you're legit na talaga when your old players come back to watch you. So that was fun to see. Second, you mentioned the Lenda Duanga injury. I think that's where the game turned into Ateneo's favor. For a while, yung before the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Ange Kwame had 4 points before Lenda Duanga exited the game, and I think he was being bodied pretty well by Lenda Duanga because Lenda Duanga is such a big guy. Now, regarding the injury, Uh, maybe Ange did not mean to do it, but I don't think it was dirty on his part. But you also should not do that. You also have to watch
Yeah.
that.
Clear
We all know,
unsportsmanlike foul naman yun eh. Upon
yeah,
replay.
it's a clear
I think
unsportsmanlike
they
foul.
made
Yeah,
I think they made the right call there.
yes, they did, and Ange was complaining, but I think Ange, come on, you injured the guy. It was clear on the replay that he wasn't looking. He was already looking at the basket when he was contesting the shot, but unfortunately he slid under Leno Duanga's landing space, and sucks for Leno Duanga. I saw him on the screen. He was pretty
Beat.
down. Yeah, beat,
Yeah.
especially on that Ange Kwame putback. Because I think if he were there, Ange Kwame would not have gotten that putback to extend Ateneo's lead to 64-61 in the last 1 minute of the game. And Jerome actually had a bad game. It was AP Manlapas who actually
AP.
carried them. Yeah, he had the second half of his life.
Grabe.
Most of his shots, actually yung ibang mga tira niya, yung mga 3-point shots niya, mga heat check yun eh. And usually, di ba yung mga heat check shots, yung mga bad shots na hindi pumapasok. Pero sa kanya pumapasok lahat ng 3-point shots na heat check. Crazy. And
meron pa isang play na parang nag-agawan na sa bola na steal na, tapos biglang natapik, tapos nakuha lang ni Manlapas, tapos binato niya, tinira niya, tapos pasok pa rin.
Yeah.
Grabe.
Yeah. Legit mga heat check shots lang that keep on going in. And he was really hot. And yes, I do wanna point out that play that Maui said. A very...
We were talking about it. So, we were talking about it sa chat. Yeah, can you explain the play para clear sa mga tao?
So, this was after Ange Kwame got the offensive rebound and made a putback and for a 3-point play. So, he was gonna shoot one free throw. So,
less than a minute left, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hindi,
30 seconds na lang,
yung
30,
less than a
40
minute,
seconds.
yeah, mga 30 seconds left. And so that's, Ateneo was up by 3. So Ange Kwame could have put it up by 4. But AP Manlapas was subbed out by Nasra Sela for Joaquin Haimalin, which was pretty weird to me because I thought, okay, if you're gonna sub out your hottest guy, I thought it would be for a big guy, yung for rebounding, diba?
For rebounding.
It's a free throw for Ange Kwame. But no, he subbed him in for a shooter. Joaquin Haimalin, who hadn't hit a shot the whole game.
Yeah.
And you subbed out the guy who was hitting shots for you. Yeah, you subbed out the guy who was hitting shots for the whole second half. And then they had 3 chances to tie the game. They had multiple offensive. Haimalin took a shot. And
so I think talaga rin they put the trust into that guy, sa Haimalin yung shooter. Which is why they subbed out. But I have to agree, Gab. Why would you put out the guy that's really been carrying the load the whole game? It was very hot.
Diba? It's a pretty weird decision. Pretty weird decision talaga. And we talked about yung offensive rebounds. I think the Ateneo's defensive rebounding was so bad. I think had 20 plus offensive rebounds in this game. A lot of it because
yun ang bumubuot sa Adamson actually nung first half. If you looked at the first half stats, the offensive rebounds.
Yeah. And they got 10 second chance points, I believe was a stat on yung halftime. Of those 15 offensive rebounds in the first half. That's crazy. 15 offensive rebounds. A lot of it because we were going zone a lot. So I think it's known naman to most people that when you play zone, it's harder to get rebounds because you're not checking a man to box out. So yeah, but also a lot of people just Adamson was hungrier for the ball. Si baby boy, si Cedric Manzano, grabe, he's so active on the glass. And ano mga notes ko? Yeah, and they also had a chance to take the lead. I think they had a chance. They cut the lead to 1. They got the ball back, and then they weren't able to convert Sayang. They
They
had a lot of chances.
shot a 3 nung play na yun.
Yeah. So, close game. Ako, kinakabahan ako eh. 1 point lead na lang.
Yeah, nil vital game.
What the hell happened? Sam, what were your thoughts on this game?
Same thing actually. Medyo napag-usapan na natin lahat. I think big game changer talaga when Duanga left. Before that, yeah, we were talking about it. There are a couple of plays na Kwame wanted to post up or like wala na yung play, broken play, so Kwame tried to post up. And makita mo, binabangga ni Kwame si Duanga, hindi gumagalaw si Duanga, hindi niya matulak si Duanga, hindi niya kaya. So I saw like maybe two plays na gano'n na pinilit ni Kwame sa loob, hindi niya nagawa. So I think Duanga really defended Kwame well, helped with the rebounding din. And naka 3-point shot na naman si Duanga. So this is the like second straight game na I've seen na he took a confident 3-point shot. I think 1 out of 2 siya if I'm not mistaken.
He would have taken more, but I think the scouting report said that he's taking threes now. So Ange was contesting him actually.
Diba?
Actually,
yung binabantay siya ni Ange.
Kaya nagka-bad close out rin because he was closing out late nung
he was stretching.
Yeah, he was stretching
Tsaka
the floor.
nasi-stretch si Ange, lumalabas si Ange, kaya nagkakaroon ng rebound sa loob eh. I think sometimes or most of the time magkasabay si Duanga tsaka si Baby Boy. Mention si Baby Boy, wala naman si Ange sa loob, malakas rebound tong si Baby Boy, di ba? So yun. So hopefully Duanga gets to go back. Sana hindi siya major sprain or injury on the foot. He can play against La Salle. And then magpahinga na lang. Magpahinga na lang siya sa Ateneo kung maglaban sila ng Ateneo ulit sa 1 versus 4. Other than that, I think Lastimosa didn't play that well, pero I think he had crucial shots. Meron siya may drive siya nung mga last few minutes.
Meron. Pinata yung to cut the lead to 1 if I'm not mistaken.
Siya yun.
Either to cut the lead to 5, to 3 or to 1. Nagulat niya sa bigla.
And meron, yun ata yung, not sure kung yun pero parang na-switch si Ange, iniwan niya si Ange.
Yeah, si Ange.
Yeah. So,
galing. He left Ange with a hesitation dribble. Galing, pare. I was watching with my dad, and when he did that, oh my God, wow. Galing. And you know Ange, right? He can keep up with even the smallest guards, but Jerome left him in the dust. What a move. Galing.
I wanted to say though na that was a good move by Jerome, but also I think yung mga ganong plays, parang it's something I've observed all throughout the season na it's something na Ange used to be able to do, but now hirap siya And I think it's, a factor of yung injury din niya, diba? Like, we all know, we've been talking about it the whole season. Ange is not 100%. So, yung mga ganong types of plays, I think Ange could sort of like follow that or at least contest that shot if he were 100%. Pero wala This season, he really just can't. So, hopefully he'll stay healthy because we definitely need him in tip-top shape for us to win another championship.
We didn't talk about Kai Balungay.
Yeah,
actually, one hell of a game.
Yeah, actually, sasabihin ko lang din just to add, Kai Balungay played the game of his life kanina.
18 points, 14 rebounds. Damn, and he was killing the zone of Adamson. Remember, when Lena Duanga came out of the game, Adamson played purely a zone defense. They didn't change. They displayed a zone defense all throughout the fourth quarter. And for the most part, for the earlier part of the fourth quarter, we were knocking down our threes. I think Kai Balungay had 2 or 3 threes. PJ Andrade, yung hit a couple as well. And then suddenly in the latter part of the fourth quarter, then the threes started not going in for Ateneo. And then you see the problems that the zone created. We could not go inside. We relied solely on ball movement on the perimeter and 3-point shooting. And that's what got Adamson back in the game. It was a pretty good zone, actually. I was pretty impressed with that zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, yung kay Balungay. Best game.
Yeah, speaking of 3-point shooting, uh what do you think? For me, yun talaga eh, no? We live and die by the 3-point shot. Even in the previous games, parang that's really sort of how they take the lead or dun tayo nahahabol eh. Pag hindi pumapasok yung tres natin, dun tayo mahabol eh. Pero pag mainit yung team, naiiwanan natin yung other team. But I don't know, I feel like wala tayong other sort of like go-to offense. Like we can't rely on Kwame posting up as much.
I think
Like this
I think
season,
it's
That's
we're
been the Tab Baldwin offense since he took over the program. It's
right.
really a lot of 3-point shooting. And I do want to edit your statements. We don't live and die by the thing. We live and die by our defense. I think this our three. You remember the 16-0 season? We were actually dead last in 3-point percentage, but we were top 1 in defense. And that's the reason. That's why we hang our hat on the defensive end. We may stink sometimes on the offensive end. And honestly, yung kahit kanina pare, there were a lot of
Medyo
possessions
alat.
we really stunk on offense. Dave scored only 3. He couldn't hit a shot to save his life.
3 points lang ba si Dave?
Yeah, 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points. Fortsky only scored 6.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
this season Ateneo is sa mga top sa it's Ateneo this year is different from Ateneo from previous years. As you mentioned, Gab, yung cornerstone talaga ng Tab Baldwin era ng Ateneo is yung defensive side. But I think this year, probably a byproduct also of Kwame's injury, Ateneo has had to rely on its offense. I think we're top 3 in offensive efficiency. Sometimes it just doesn't look like it because most games we still have to rely on our defense to win games. David Alfonso scored 3 points kanina, but I think he wasn't that aggressive. It was the usual David Alfonso game where he wanted to facilitate too much. But I think he had 7 assists and only 1 turnover. Unfortunately, nung time na kailangan ng Ateneo for him to get baskets, he couldn't convert. So yun. Yeah, I think. But I think Sammy, I think I also agree with your point. For Ateneo to win their next coming games, they really have to hit their 3-pointers. Unlike previous seasons, I think Ateneo kasi lacks yung traditional playmakers. Parang this year, yung
Exactly.
talagang playmaker lang talaga natin is to a T si Fortsky and then si Dave and then I think Ateneo's resurgence yung crucial talaga is yung si Gab Gomez emerging. He's been very steady, not turning the ball over and setting up yung offense. A far contrast to yung ayaw natin nung first round, which is Chris Kuhn setting up the offense. I think Chris Kuhn really plays well pag siya yung corner shooter, off-ball, weak side offensive creator kaysa yung nagbababa siya ng bola and nag-set up ng offense. And yeah, I think for Ateneo to be successful, especially against a team like UP, they really have to hit their shots. Especially David Alfonso.
Okay. Sige. So, now that we talked about the 2 games today, pag-usapan natin yung Final Four or yung potential Final Four team. So, alam na natin locked in NU versus UP. Not sure, but based on what we saw sa Facebook kanina, Gab, diba? It most likely NU versus UP will be on Sunday at the same right after or probably the same day as the La Salle versus Adamson battle for 4th game. So, any thoughts? Sige, una muna La Salle versus Adamson. Quick thoughts lang. Who do you think is going to win? And who will end up facing Ateneo?
Yeah,
Maui.
ako I'm hopeful first kasi diba we mentioned nga yung string of injuries for both Adamson and La Salle. So I'm hopeful that most of their players play, especially yung key players, which is sana si Linda Duanga makabalik, AP Manlapas healthy, Jerome Lastimoso healthy, and also for La Salle, all those yung three key guys nila, which is Winston, Mike Phillips, and Kevin Chambao. Hopefully, all of them get to play. Uh, and to be honest, I'm not sure. Both of them have been playing with depleted lineups. Both of them have been, especially La Salle has been up and down. So I don't know. Hopefully, I'm thinking probably it would be an Evan Nelly versus Jerome Lastimosa slugfest on Sunday. But I'm praying it's gonna be a close game. Then let's see what will happen.
Gab.
All right. I also am very excited for an Evan Nelly Jerome Lastimosa matchup. And the key for Adamson is the others have to step up. We always talk about that. And we talked about it in our last episode. The result of the 3 games that Jerome Lastimosa was not playing was the support his supporting cast has become more aggressive on the offensive end. And we just saw AP Manlapas have the game of his life. He will have to have another game like that, or someone else. Maybe it's a Joem Sabandal, maybe it's a Josh Payero. Vince Magbuos actually returned a while ago. Diba? So he's another guy who can stretch the floor. And yes, Lena Duwanga has to play, definitely. If Mike Phillips plays on Sunday and Lena Duwanga's not there, we could get another 20 rebound game from Mike Phillips. And that's gonna spell disaster for Adamson. Personally, I am pulling for Adamson. I want from the way La Salle has been playing this season, I don't think they deserve a Final Four. Honestly. Tangina, sobrang disappointing sila this season. Puta, ibigay niyo na kaya sa yung kay Jerome Lestimosa saka sa Adamson yung fourth spot. I think they play a better brand of basketball and they work harder and they're more inspired, I think. I believe. And it's good for Adamson. Honestly, it's good for Adamson. It's good for Jerome. I want to see Jerome versus Jerome Lastimosa and Adamson versus Ateneo. If it's anything like the game we watched a while ago, this is gonna be a very exciting, and I don't want to say that I want a convincing win for Ateneo, pero feel ko talaga it's gonna be a very close game for the 1-4 matchup if ever it's gonna be Adamson, because Adamson works hard, yung works their asses off. So for me it's Adamson. Talaga. I'm rooting for the bird.
Ako, I think if everybody plays, obviously it's going to be La Salle who's going to make it. Assuming na Shawnee's back to full health, KQ and Mike Phillips will play also. I think it should be La Salle. Pero I agree with Gab. I just really love Jerome Lastimosa, and I know it's his final year. I think yung nabasa kong article is, di ba, we all know international teams are trying to recruit Lastimosa, and then he decided to stay for his final year kasi promise daw niya kay Coach Nash is to bring Adamson back to the Final Four. So, Final Four lang naman, hindi ko niya sinabing championship. So, I'm rooting for Jerome. I'm rooting for Jerome to bring the team back to the Final Four and fulfill his promise. Sige, before we end, let's quickly talk about the NUUP game. What are we expecting on Sunday for the NUUP game? I think NU 2 straight losses, diba? They lost to La Salle and Adamson to close out the season, and then UP lost to Ateneo. So they're both coming from a loss. What do you think, Gab?
Why don't you go first, Sam? Ikaw muna, Sam. Yung puro kami ni Maui na una. Ikaw muna.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously, I'm rooting for NU to win the first game. Just so that tumagal pa yung yung laban nila. Makes it more exciting. I think last year that's what happened. UP versus La Salle. Twice to beat yung UP, but La Salle won the first game, and then we also had like that alam mo na, infamous La Salle game na they were up by 10, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to go, and then they ended up losing to UP. So, ako, I want NU to win para lang tumagal pa yung season, tumagal pa yung Final Four. At medyo mapagod naman ng onti yung UP. But I think at the end of the day, I think UP pa rin mananalo dito. But, you know, I think NU has a chance kasi they're a well-balanced team. Wala silang superstar. And alam mo na, pinag-usapan natin, etong si Jeff napakalupit na coach nito eh. So, I'm excited to see yung battle of the coaches and also the battle of the teams. And ang gusto ko sa NU versus UP na game, I just really love, again, I love the storyline na UP essentially stole
I was gonna point
the
that out.
entire, like what, the starting the 7-star players of NU from high school, and then I starting 5 pala, the 5-star players of NU from high school. They stole them, then recruited them to La Salle, including the coach pa. So sobrang gusto ko yung storyline na yun.
UP,
So I really want,
not La Salle, UP.
UP stole it from NU. So I really want that storyline. So I want this to be a dogfight. So mag-2 games.
Not to mention the coach. Coach Gold was
Yun nga.
supposed to coach
Exactly.
NU.
Correct. So excited to see that storyline unfold and have this parang rivalry between NU and UP. Maui?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I guess similar with Sam. I think at the end of the day, it's probably gonna be UP. Hopefully, we get two close games, but I think it's gonna be UP. I think teams have already started to figure out yung NU, which is why they struggled heavily nung second round with close games and even losing out their last 2 games. But I think hopefully Jeff Napa has another card in his pocket and he surprises UP and gets 1 game. But I think UP kasi is the perfect matchup for NU. They can go toe-to-toe sa long rotation ng NU.
I was gonna say that, Mao. I was gonna say that.
To be honest, I'm happy that Ateneo is not facing NU because Ateneo, I think Ateneo lacks yung depth to be able to match up with NU, which is why they struggled with NU nung first round. But the main advantage really of NU this season has been yung 10 deep lineup nila na next man up, and you don't know where the points are going. You don't know who's gonna step up. And I think with UP's lineup, JD Kagulangan's getting healthy. Terence Fortea finally returned. Zab Lucero just had the worst game of his life, so I don't think he will play that miserably against NU. But yeah, hopefully they get 1 game. But I think it's UP to lose yung series. Carl Tamayo will not allow UP to lose this. And let's see. Hopefully, this season has been full of surprises. Who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised again. But I think UP, it's really UP's to lose. How about you, Gab?
Okay. Gab.
Ako, I expect this to be a slugfest. I do agree with Maui's point. I was thinking that NU is the perfect matchup for UP. We have a coach who, in Jeff Napa, who I think knows Coach Gold's playbook, knows the players on the UP side, and as Maui said, they have a ton of players. They're 10, 11 players deep. If you count their magic hugot, si Balocelo, he can play too.
Ibayan,
He's the
Jonas.
he's their 11th guy, and he can also play. So they're very deep. They have a lot of good players. I do want to see the match up between Carl Tamayo and his backups in high school. Yung mga previous teammates niya, sila Michael Malonzo, Jolo Manansala, RJ Minerva, they all, when you watch them play Carl Tamayo, you know they're pumped up. As in, makita mo na talagang they really look forward to the matchup with Carl Tamayo because he's their former teammate, he's their former star player, and they want to show him, ba't ka umalis ng NU? Something to that extent. So there are a lot of storylines in this matchup. My mind tells me it's gonna be UP because they're hella talented. They have so many good players. However, my heart tells me yung just like what Sam said, this NU team reminds me of the 2014 NU team, the one that won the championship from being number 4. Uh, Again, they have no star player. They don't have that Bobby Ray Parks that they had in 2013, and now they're made up just a bunch of good guys, good scrappy guys, talaga,
Scrappy,
and
yeah.
they will run you down. Oh, talaga,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
will run you
definitely.
down. I'm excited for this. More excited for this UPNU game than whoever, kahit na La Salle yung makalaban ng Ateneo, mas excited daw actually para sa UPNU game. Because yung daming storylines, so many possible things to watch for. At I also think, Sam, yung just like you, that NU's gonna take one game, at least one game, and then force a rubber
Yeah.
match. Then eventually, UP is gonna make it to the finals. But yeah, there's yung may
You
thing
never
sa
know.
akin na parang, uy, this could be the NU of the past again. You know, they remind me so much of that team. So
May vibe eh. May vibe
hopefully,
talaga.
no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yung may vibe talaga. So,
Okay.
yun. Man, I'm so excited for that game.
Oo nga, excited na kami for UAAP weekend kasi it's going to be crucial games. Basically do or die na for some of the teams starting now, no? So that's it for today's podcast. Let us know your thoughts. Sino sa tingin niyo yung mananalo sa Adamson versus La Salle to fight Ateneo, and then who will take game 1 ng NU versus UP? Comment your answers down below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you!
See you. Thank